What is up, guys, and welcome to another episode of my HLTV Fantasy. Today we are looking at IEM Katowice 2022 play-in. Before that, though, I want to thank you for 100 subscribers. I think it's a bit over that now, and that's in part thanks to the shout-out from Professor on Twitter. Thank you for that as well. And I hope all of you new guys are gonna enjoy this content as well. But yeah, let's get into it without further ado. We have IEM Katowice playing. These teams have been added at least so far. I think there was like Renegades at least who haven't been added for the reason that probably their fifth isn't known yet, so they can't really add them yet. Format is pretty simple. Best of one's first game, best of three's second game, and best of three's all in the lower bracket. If you win 2 games, you get through. And if you lose 2 games, you're out. Pretty simple stuff. And how this kind of works is, I guess you should be picking teams that go through in 2 games, ideally. And that kind of gives means that there are 4 possible really good teams to pick. So we want to know which 3 of them they are. So the first kind of group of teams is NIP, Wisla, Copenhagen, Fnatic. So one of these teams is going to go 2-0, and one of these 2 teams and their best players are going to be like really good to have. Same with Gods and Mouse, Sprout Phase, and going on like that. So who's going to be the best team out of this group? In my opinion, NIP. I think this is should be pretty simple. Wisla is just a tier below NIP. I would say pretty handily. Even though they beat Furia, or gave Furia a battering, if you want to put it that way. But I still think NIP should, on paper, be able to beat them. Copenhagen Flames and Fnatic are the better teams that could contest, but Copenhagen Flames haven't been as impressive since the major. Fnatic also didn't do that well in... Which event was it? Ended. I guess it was Pinnacle Winter Series, right? They really didn't do too well here. Was it this one? Wait, why are they... I guess they're not even like calculated as part of it because they went 0-2 to Apex. So I don't have like the highest expectations for these teams, and I think NIP should win. Second group, Godsend, Mouse, Sprout, and FaZe. I think FaZe is definitely the favorite, even though there's no Robs. If Robs was playing for FaZe instead of JKS, they would be very favored here. I think Sprout is just not what they used to be. Obviously, they lost their best player in Faven. And then Godsend is like a decent team, definitely have been doing fine. And then this new look Mouse, this is like the first game for them. But there's like NBK who hasn't played in a long time. Dexter and Bimas are still not like super... aren't doing too well, and then there's like Torzi who's coming in from like playing for this main roster for the first time. We don't know what to expect from him, and then Frozen is probably gonna do just fine. I actually kind of think Godsend probably beats out Mouse here, and then I think FaZe is should pretty handily still win this group. I feel JKS is a pretty decent standing. I think he's gonna do fine. Then OG, Renegades, Ensign, and Tropic. This is probably the hardest one for me. I think OG should beat Renegades. Renegades is gonna have a really tough time with this one. Then there's Ensign and Tropic, and who are like very decent teams. Could put up a fight against OG as well. I think OG is gonna win based on their performance at Blast. But maybe it's still kind of a honeymoon phase. We'll have to see how it goes. And then for me, somehow this is like the most easily predictable because I think Biggest actually pretty decent. And then every other team is kind of meh. Like Call really hasn't done anything so far. Unfortunately, I kind of wished that they would be better than some of the other NA teams. Astralis have been just horrible. Haven't done anything. MIBR beat Navi once, and then they didn't do much after that. So, but MIBR is like okay, probably. But I honestly think big should always go 2-0 here. Which makes it pretty simple for the fantasy in that I really want to go double big. Searson has been on fire, so I want to pick him. And then for me, I don't think it's Faven, even though he's doing fine, but he's not doing this fine, because this price is still very inflated from like Sprout games. Then we have Tizian, who is like okay, but I would probably rather go Keto or Tapson here. I'll just throw Keto for now, and we'll see if we want to swap him out for Tapson. And then the question is like, I think this is the least predictable one, because I think Enzo or Entropic can definitely beat OG. And I feel like most likely FaZe and NIP should go 2-0. I feel like I'm probably gonna go double NIP because the players are pretty cheap. Like, I think Hampus has been very good. Probably go Hampus. And then one of these guys and one of the FaZe guys. Yeah. Oh yeah, I wanna kind of talk about this as well, where I feel like something I haven't really thought about before, but kind of makes sense, and I did in my last video. So ESL Challenger February is that entry fraggers are pretty good when there's a lower tier of opposition. It kind of makes sense, right, when you think about it, because if you have a really good entry fragger like Yakindar here, on paper he's gonna be the one taking the first challenge a lot of the time, and if the opponents aren't as good, and if the entry fragger is set up well, he's gonna get those frags. And we saw that pretty much happen in the VP versus, who did they play against? Movistar Riders game, where they like 16-3'd them and Yakindar 30 bomb. So it's good to pick entry fraggers from these good teams who you expect will do super well. And with that logic, Rain makes a lot of sense, right? Either Rain or maybe even Carrigan, but Rain is the like doing more entering, and Carrigan is more in that I'm just gonna die roll. I don't mind going Carrigan here, but I'd rather go Rain, because somehow Carrigan just seems to die way too often for the amount of entering he does. But yeah, if we go Rain, we can actually just get Res. That looks like a very decent lineup to me for this play-in stage. Like, Rain has been kind of reinventing his game, if you will. Like, he had a really tough time in some earlier periods. He was good in Blast. Like, IEM Winter, he wasn't that great. But he's had some very good tournaments as well. And I think against this opposition, they're playing Sprout and then Mouse or Godsend. I think even with the JKS stand-in, they should do well. If we want, we could go double phase, but it would be like JK, and it doesn't work out as well monetarily. Let's take a look at this though. If we go Tapsen and Carrigan, so like this is also an option. If we want to go, don't want to put as much stock into an IP. But it's all a question of how high do we think. Like, I think Keto is just so much better than Carrigan, honestly. And then I don't know if like Thompson just isn't probably like, this is just how I think it's gonna go. But Thompson is probably gonna frag a bit less with the addition of Faven, because Faven's gonna get a lot of those frags as well. I think I like my previous one more with Res and then Keto. I think this looks really good, honestly. Yeah. Because Keto also is like, didn't he do pretty well last event? Like, he's doing pretty decent 1.0 stuff, but he has these glimpses of he could even be better. He has really good aim. His deagle is super good. I'll go for this, I think. So it's Op, one of these guys entry, probably Hampus entry. More of a pure entry, I guess. CT raiding, Rain. Res, and then Keto. I guess IGL Keto, and then Res. I'll have to see. I'll have to see what it gives me. I also wanted to point this out. out of the phase lineup that's playing here, look at the T rating to CT rating and like ratio. Everyone has at least positive CT rating. Even Carrigan has positive, and then Twists and Brokey have like identical rating stats. And no one has above a 1.0 T rating. I kind of chuckled when I saw that because I was kind of looking at how I would maybe want to roll these players if I pick them. That's just a pretty funny anecdote that their T sites have, I guess, just not been working out that well. Let's see. How do we roll this? So this is obvious. I think this is also obvious. Entry here. Then we have probably headshots actually on Keto, right? Doesn't that make more sense? Or maybe rain on headshots? 3466. Actually, Keto with headshots makes a lot of sense. Let's do that for now. And it would be like res with IGL, but let's look at how is. Yeah, probably IGL on res. And then rain with CT. Yeah, CT rating. Sense. Okay. It's also like a very weird, just in general, like if I was the one deciding how to do like when there's an event like this that is very long, and how would I like section it off so that which is like one fantasy. So we have a play-in fantasy and a group stage fantasy, and I guess like a playoffs fantasy for IEM Katowice. I don't know if play-in stage and group stage need to be separated like this. Like the biggest problem with that is that there's a lot of variance because there's best of one opening match first of all, and then second of all, in the best case scenario, all of your players only play like 2 games, one best of one and one best of 3. So if they win first game and second game, they're just through, and that's it for the entire fantasy. So I think maybe group stage and play-in stage should be like combined in some way, but I don't know. I guess more fantasy is just more fantasy. I don't have anything too much against this. Boosters. So like I did for the last one, I need to like reserve the best. Like we're hoping that we only get to use 10 boosters out of the like what 17 boosters. So which are like the best boosters for all of these players, and the better one of them is saved for the best of 3, and the worst one is saved like used up in the first games. So like 54% pistol for Hampus. Let's see if there's anything better for Hampus first. At top of scorecard also. %59% like assist. That's like his best, and then I guess pistol. So these two are like his best. I think best pistol round makes a lot of sense here. Then assist is better used on the second round, which should be harder on average. Like for Searson, what are the best boosters? Top of scorecard is one of them. Avenger, not quite. Favors better than others. Pearson not playing too well with these boosters. Not KST. I guess Saver is probably used with him. I'll come back to that later, I guess. Rain. Best boosters are. I guess I should like. Yeah, so Bait is one of the best ones for Rain. Probably used for the next round. And then there's KST actually. Probably going to be using that now. I know that's the Hampus one, yeah. This is for Keto. Okay. So KST makes sense here, and then next one we have Bait for Rain. Res. Clutch is good on Res. 31 better than others. Clutch and Trader. No. Yeah, Clutch and Trader are good on Raz. Yep. So do we go Clutch or Trader now? I guess we go Trader. Actually, let's go Clutch now and then Trader next. Ito had headshots. And then something else. Ito might be our Bitskins thingy. Really. Yeah, probably headshots and then Bitskins. So we should use Bitskins in best of one always. Just a side note there. So which one's one? So we don't have bottom of scorecard. Doesn't make sense. Joke. Not that much. So top of scorecard makes sense now. This was for Searson because Hampus had something else. What did Hampus have? Yeah, assist. That's the second one. So Searson as top of scorecard. And I guess Saver. We should use Saver now because top of scorecard triggers that much more often. So we should use Saver now and then top of scorecard on the second round. Okay, that makes sense. Thank you guys for watching. I will probably be recording the next stage straight away. I think I'm just gonna do the group stage now because I really don't think I'm gonna pick any of these teams that could qualify in my group stage team. So yeah, I'm gonna be uploading this while I record the next video. So see you guys soon, and thank you guys for watching. Remember to like and subscribe, of course, if you enjoy this kind of content, and I will see you in the next one. Goodbye.